Here we go.
Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Stuart W. Robertson Memorial Gymnasium on the campus of Roseburg High School in beautiful Roseburg, Oregon. Tonight we bring you the Roseburg boys basketball team taking on the Corvallis Spartins in a non-conference matchup between the 6A Indians and the 5A Spartins. Roseburg comes in looking to snap a 3-game losing streak. On the other side, it's the season opener tonight for the Corvallis Spartans. And we've got the action for you as we get ready for high school basketball on a Friday night in the Umpqua Valley tonight here on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Joey Kieran. Happy to be with you here on this Friday evening. Hopefully you're staying dry on what has been a very wet day in the Umpqua Valley and beyond. We are getting ready for tonight's matchup with plenty in store for you here in what will be an extended pregame show. The JV game going a little bit long. I think some backup traffic on I-5 had things a little slow getting to town. That might have held up the Spartans just a little bit, and the JV game getting started a little late, which means it looks like the varsity game will be get started a little later as well. As we check in on this JV game right now, the visiting Corvallis Spartans making a run at it late. They were down by a significant margin against Roseburg. I think it was a 14-point game at halftime. Corvallis has fought their way back, and they are now on top of Roseburg by 3 at 51-48. That is in the JV game. Varsity game was scheduled to start at 6:45, and it looks like we'll probably start closer to 7 o'clock tonight for that matchup. But we'll keep it here and take you all the way to the tip-off for the varsity matchup coming up tonight. Roseburg comes into tonight's game 1-3 on the season. They've fallen in their last 3 games of the year. The last one coming against North Eugene, where Roseburg lost 69-42. On the other side, Corvallis comes into this one. First game of the season for them, which is quite surprising. A lot of teams like to get things going early, but Corvallis comes into this one. They have not played a game so far. They will look to try and get things started on the right foot under head coach Ross Duerfelt as they start out the season tonight here against the Roseburg Indians. These two teams met last year in a back-and-forth battle that Roseburg pulled away in the second half for, winning 63-46. So we're looking forward to a good matchup coming up here this evening between these two teams. We'll see if Roseburg can bounce their way back after a couple of losses on the road. The only time they've won so far this season was in their season opener here at Stuart W. Robertson Memorial Gymnasium, winning in their season opener with 84 points. I'd like to see that kind of offense yet again. Want to let everybody know tonight's game is streaming online at 541radio.com and on the Score YouTube page. You can follow the action with us there. We are got the video stream up and running right now. You'll be able to catch bits and pieces of the JV game as it goes by here, and we'll keep you updated on the score with 6.5 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. It's still 51-48 in favor of the visiting Spartans. Coming up on the pregame show, though, we will get a chance to catch up with head coach Jordan Humphreys, the first-year coach here at Roseburg High School. His team is on a 3-game losing streak. How has practice been going for the Indians? How have they responded to some tough losses on the road? We will talk about that with Coach Humphreys here in the pregame show. We'll also get a chance to take a look at your Supercut starting lineups here in just a little while. And we will, of course, lay out this matchup tonight between the Indians and the Spartans. So a lot to get to as we have the extended pregame show for you. Stay with us throughout tonight's broadcast. Want to let you know tonight's game is brought to you by our friends at Terra Firma Foundations and by Cascade Community Credit Union, belong to Douglas County. Speaking of Cascade Community Credit Union, we invite you to come on out and support the Rudolph Run, the 2019 Rudolph Run taking place at Cascade Community Credit Union. Starting things tomorrow. We'll be on our way by 10 o'clock tomorrow to go pick up toys and gifts for children around the Umpqua Basin. We're trying to help out some of those families that may not be able to provide the Christmas they would like for their families, and we're asking for your help with donations. We are looking to get donations at many businesses around the Roseburg and surrounding communities. And if you know of a place, you can find out at 541radio.com, find out which businesses have a barrel. You can still drop off toys or come by Cascade Community Credit Union tomorrow morning and drop off a toy there as we then take them to DHS later on in the morning after picking them up around the region. So a lot of fun going on tomorrow. Be on the lookout for motorcycles, our radio station vehicles, Mahalo Heating and Air Conditioning, all that stuff. Be on the lookout at that tomorrow. We'll do our best not to hold up traffic, but feel free to give us a honk and give us a wave as we make our way around town picking up toys. Looking forward to that event coming up tomorrow. It's the 2019 Rudolph Run presented by Cascade Community Credit Union. All right, let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we will get a chance to catch up with head coach Jordan Humphreys as the Roseburg Indians get ready to face the Corvallis Spartans. And that'll be coming up for you here in just a little bit. Again, a little bit of a later start tonight due to the JV game getting a late start as well. Looking at probably about a 7 o'clock start for tonight's contest. We'll be back with a word with head coach Jordan Humphreys. When we come back, this is Roseburg basketball coming at you tonight online at 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
I am a nurse,
a firefighter,
a college student,
a mother,
and I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready
for every storm
and disaster that threatens my community.
I will always be there to protect my neighbors,
my family,
and my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Back here with more of our pregame on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM, and streaming with video online at 541radio.com. Rose, we're getting ready to take on Corvallis tonight back at home after last 3 games out on the road, and we get a chance to catch up with head coach Jordan Humphreys here. As coach, you guys back here at home, how's it feel to kind of maybe get first road kind of sequences out of the way? You guys go on the road for 3 straight games. It's got to be nice to maybe get a chance to be back here at home and play on your home floor.
Yeah, be home again, let the guys kind of get comfortable, and also a few practices in a row. We had a stand with only 1 practice in between a few games, so it's nice to have a few games to make some adjustments and kind of shore up some holes that we had.
Yeah. Speaking of that, the last game, I know we talked about afterwards at the game at North Eugene that you felt like the team lacked a little bit of focus going into that one. How have you seen them respond after kind of probably the toughest loss that they've suffered so far here in the early going of this season?
Definitely bounced back at practice, and we're ready to go, ready to get better, ready to figure out where they can improve and keep growing every day. That's something we talk about all the time, is we got to keep getting better every day, and we talked a lot about that focus before the game and how once we lose it during the game, how we're going to get it back. And so a lot of good conversations and mental preparation. A lot of people talk about the physical preparation, but so much of it is mental as well.
You've got a young team, and we've talked about that before. No seniors, not really any returning starters. Have you started seeing guys maybe starting to step up in this junior class, that these young guys step up and maybe try to establish themselves with some leadership responsibilities and things like that?
We're still working on that. It's still kind of fresh for them to figure out between themselves who's going to be the one. Obviously, we as coaches have talked to quite a few of them individually, but it's one thing to say and talk about it and another thing to go out and do it in crunch time when you need it. And so we're still kind of waiting for that individual to step up and kind of take control when we need something.
Yeah, I mean, it's something you got to grow into, and these guys are all very young still and experiencing this for the first time. Have you seen them maybe in this, spot where they're starting at the varsity level, they're playing 6A basketball at the varsity level? Have you seen these guys maybe have those, deer in a headlight kind of look at times at all out there?
There was definitely some at North Eugene. I think they kind of didn't expect the game to start the way it did, and then a few things went against us and made a few mistakes, and they definitely got that deer in headlight look. And but for the most part, other than that, I feel like they've been pretty in control. and able to respond to most situations pretty well. Obviously, a low end century were end of game situations where we just didn't quite, I would say, that mental focus again, and so. So I think there's still some of that. Tonight there might be some as well with the 7-3 kid, something that probably most of them haven't seen before. But I think it'll be a quick adjustment on that piece, and we'll get over that awe factor and move on past that quick.
Yeah, talking about that, Corvallis tonight, what do you think about the team that you're going to be facing?
Well, they're going to be, last year they had quite a few juniors that played key roles for them, and coming back as seniors this year, and so they're kind of hungry. They haven't played a game yet, so they're going to be hungry to get out and beat up on somebody else. And we're hoping on our home floor we can finally open up the basket a little bit, knock down a few shots, and kind of get in a comfortable rhythm.
All right, we look forward to it tonight. Roseburg taking on Corvallis. That's head coach Jordan Humphreys here in the pregame show. We thank him for his time. We'll come back and we'll get you ready for tip-off right around the corner here on The Score, 92.3 and 1490.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
Well, we welcome you back here to Roseburg High School, Robertson Memorial Gymnasium, getting ready to go for the varsity matchup between Roseburg and Corvallis. Although, as we get ready for that varsity matchup, we are looking at this JV game going. It's not going long. It started a little bit later, and it is going to be a little bit of a late start for the varsity matchup as well. In fact, right now our game tied at 57 between Roseburg and Corvallis in the JV game. Right now Corvallis with the basketball, looking at 2:42 left to go in the matchup. These two teams met last year, Roseburg and Corvallis. Of course, much different Roseburg team than it was a year ago. No returning starters for Roseburg, no seniors on the team. So the team that beat Corvallis 63-46 a year ago, it's not going to be the team that they send out there tonight. In fact, no current players on Roseburg's roster played in that game a year ago. They were on the bench, but not in the game. Meanwhile, on the other side, for Corvallis, they returned just one starter from last year, but had four players that played in that game against Roseburg a year ago. And that was early on for them. Not sure how things changed for them throughout the rest of the season. That saw them finish 12-11 in the Mid-Willamette League and 11-5 in the Mid-Willamette League and 12-11 overall on the season. So obviously getting into conference play a year ago, Corvallis was able to turn things around. After going 1-6 to start out the season, they turned it around, went 11-5 in conference play, finished second, made it into the first round of the playoffs, but ended up losing against Thurston in the first round, 60-39. So how has this team grown from a year ago to now? And speaking of growing, there's a young man on this roster. He hasn't grown since last year, but that does not matter. Listed at 7'3" for Corvallis. Jasper Reynalda, he's actually a name we've seen for a couple of straight years from this Corvallis team, and he obviously stands out at 7'3". He is a big young man, and that's going to be a tough test tonight for the Roseburg Indians, who lack a lot of height this year, at least in years recent. They've had Jonathan Stone at 6'7". He's been able to hold his own and been able to kind of hold his own against those big men down low. I know 7'3" is a lot bigger than 6'7", but Jonathan Stone used to do a pretty good job working against guys bigger than him. But now with Roseburg's tallest players checking in at 6'3", 7'3", a whole foot difference. It's going to look pretty big out there for the Roseburg Indians. A lot of good height on this Corvallis team tonight. 6'4", and senior Justin Misfelt. Also looking at 6'3", Darren O'Hagan. And, of course, 7'3" in Jasper Reynaldo. This is the season opener for Corvallis, a team that last year averaged just under 58 points per game, gave up just about 56 points a game. So this Corvallis team, not a huge scorer a year ago, and I mentioned they bring back a lot of players that spent some time out there on the floor for them last season. But we'll see how some of the new pieces mix in. They did lose some good players to graduation. Also, it seems as if they had a few players that were on the roster last year that are not on the roster this year that would have been seniors. They also bring in a couple of guys that looks like that weren't on the basketball roster a year ago. It'll be interesting to see how those players might mix in. One of them is a senior, Azelle Bumpus, a name that many baseball fans around the region might recognize. Bumpus playing for the Corvallis baseball team, also playing for the Corvallis American Legion baseball team. Very gifted athlete. He's only 5'6", but I expect we'll see a lot out of him. Very speedy, very gifted athlete. He was a great baseball player in the times that we've seen him. So it'll be interesting to see what he has for the Corvallis Spartans here tonight. Again, we are waiting for the varsity game to get going. It's going to be an extended pregame show for us here. Down to about 43 seconds to go in this contest. And it is a 3-point game in favor of Corvallis as Roseburg will take a timeout. Well, getting ready to go tonight. We've got plenty of other games going on around the Umpqua Basin here this evening, and I don't know how many scores we may have from games that might have been going on a little bit earlier. But our counterpart here, Josh Nelson, has been keeping an eye on what's going on and taking a look at the schedule for tonight's games. Josh, taking a look at it here in the pregame show. Any final scores from other basketball games going on so far today?
Hey, thanks, Joey. Yeah, I've got a couple from a couple tournaments going on right now for the Umpqua Valley area. For boys basketball, Umpqua Valley Christian was playing in the Douglas Booster Tournament against Pleasant Hill. Pleasant Hill ends up beating Umpqua Valley Christian 61-40. Switching over here to wrestling real quick in the Reno Tournament of Champion wrestling tournament down there in Reno. Roseburg had sent 13 wrestlers down there, and so far there are 4 left for the quarterfinals. 3 are still wrestling in the consolation bracket, and Roseburg is currently ranked 7th out of 111 teams down there, which is pretty decent. Going to girls basketball, also in the Douglas Booster Tournament, Douglas was playing against Pleasant Hill in that one, and Pleasant Hill ends up winning that one 50-42. And then in the Cougar Classic for the girls basketball, Days Creek was playing Damascus Christian, and Damascus Christian won 51-35.
All right, Josh, thank you very much there. A lot of games going on tonight around the region as well. Roseburg girls are on the road up at Corvallis. They're scheduled to start at 7 o'clock. Meanwhile, the Sutherland boys and girls taking on Newport tonight. Sutherland boys are at home. Dan Baines covering that game for us tonight over on I-101 FM. I know South Umpqua is in action. Glide is taking on Oakland tonight in boys and girls basketball. So a lot of games going on. We'll be keeping an eye on that, plus trying to get any final updates before they wrap things up for day 1 of the Reno Tournament of Champions. So we'll be following a lot of stuff tonight during tonight's basketball game. Quick check-in on the JV game here because it's been close and you guys might be interested. 60-57 still the score in favor of Corvallis with 24.1 seconds to go. Roseburg coming out of another timeout, and unfortunately for head coach Justin O'Byrne and this Roseburg JV team, he called the timeout right as the play was going, wanted to get a play drawn up with 24 seconds because the offense wasn't getting anything for him, and the player for Roseburg hit a three-pointer right after the whistle for the timeout, and it would have tied the game, but they go to the timeout, 15 seconds to play. Trap in the corner for Corvallis. A pass out to the top, got tipped into the backcourt, and stepping on the line, Corvallis trying to get the steal to try and wrap up a win. The ball will go back to Roseburg in the backcourt. And it'll be Roseburg inbound from the far sideline. 8.6 seconds to go here in the JV game. Roseburg trailing 60-57. Roseburg brings the ball up, pass to the left wing, in the corner, a three just before the buzzer, catch and shoot on a putback. The 2 points will go, but it's not going to be enough as Roseburg's going to fall in this one. The JV team losing 60-59 against Corvallis. Got a tough look at a three-point shot for the Roseburg JV team just before the buzzer. It was off. They got the offensive rebound. A putback bucket before the buzzer was good, but they'll fall by 1 point. 60-59, the final score is the JV team. They led big at halftime, couldn't hold on in the second half as Corvallis. The Corvallis Spartins getting their season underway tonight, maybe breaking off a little bit of rust early on and coming back in the second half to win the JV contest. They'll put 20 minutes up on the clock, and we'll start getting ready for the varsity matchup here. Joey Keyran with you, along with Josh Nelson. Back in the studio, Brenton Cranford running the production for us on the radio side here this evening. Want to say thanks to Angela Keyran for helping out with the video production this evening. Josh Nelson helping out here as well. And big thanks to Heather Nelson for joining us this evening in the broadcast booth as well. Getting ready to go here from Stuart W. Robertson Memorial Gymnasium. The countdown is on to the varsity matchup. We'll have that coming up for you here in just a few. Let's go ahead and take a 2-minute break. We'll come back with more of our extended pregame show, getting ready for Roseburg and Corvallis, a non-league contest between the 5A Spartans and the 6A Indians. We'll have it for you tonight as we get ready to go. It is Roseburg varsity boys basketball coming up in just a bit on the score, 92.3 and 1490.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
I am a nurse.
A firefighter.
A college student.
A mother.
And I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready.
For every storm.
And disaster that threatens my community.
I will always be there to protect my neighbors.
My family.
And my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Well, the teams are out on the courts getting ready to go for our varsity matchup here this evening. The Roseburg Indians taking on the Corvallis Spartans. And we get ready to go for this non-league matchup. Tonight's game's been brought to you by Jiffy Lube and One Champion Car Wash, by our friends at DC Farmers Co-op, where everyone is welcome to shop, by Mercy Medical Center, and by Good Vibration Solutions for home theater and automotive audio. You can feel it at Good Vibes. Getting ready for tonight's matchup. Again, a bit of a late start because the JV game gets started a little late. Hopefully, for those that might be tuning in, you didn't get stuck in the traffic that was going on this afternoon here in Roseburg. I guess hopefully everyone okay. A decent accident on I-5, backing up I-5 south for a few miles, and I got a feeling that maybe Corvallis got a little trapped in that, trying to get here for today's contest, and that might have gotten them a bit of a delayed start for the JV game. But we are done with the JV game. If you're just joining us, Corvallis coming back to win against the Roseburg JV team, 60-59. And the varsity matchup coming up here soon. Season opener for Corvallis. Roseburg looking to snap a 3-game losing streak, get their second win of the year. Their only win so far this season coming here at home at Robertson Memorial Gymnasium. We'll get a chance to get you your Supercut starting lineups here in just a few minutes, and we'll try to get those to you here before we take another break for the national anthem, so we'll have that. Last time these two teams met a year ago, both sides battling back and forth in the first half, and both teams holding a lead in the first half of the contest, but Roseburg outscoring Corvallis 36-23 in the second half as they were able to pull away for a 63-46 victory. RHS led by as many as 19 points in the second half of that contest. Again, no current players, though, on Roseburg's roster were able to play in that game. Nobody had any minutes in that contest. So it's going to be a new look for Roseburg against Corvallis. Corvallis returns just one player that started in that game, but 4 players total that played in that contest against Roseburg, as they lost in that matchup 63-46. A little surprising to see Corvallis getting such a late start to their season. This is their season opener, where Roseburg has played 4 games already since the OSAA opened up its first contest availability for high school teams in the winter sports. So we'll see how that has an impact, and maybe the Corvallis varsity team coming out a little bit rusty after getting a later start than most teams to the start of the season. Roseburg averaging currently 62 points per game on the year. They are giving up 65.7 points per game. Their season high was 84 points in the season opener against Eagle Point. Their season low was 42 points in their last game against North Eugene on Tuesday earlier this week. Roseburg never leading in that game against the Highlanders, fell behind by as many as 29 points in the second half of that game. RHS was outscored 44-27 in the second half. They almost had it at a single-digit deficit at halftime, but were down at 10 at halftime, then getting outscored big in the second half. Turnovers an issue for Roseburg. Both teams fouling quite a bit in that contest, and Roseburg had 2 players ended up fouling out in that game. They'll try to clean some things up going into this matchup. Mentioned earlier, some height to deal with on the Corvallis side. 7'3" Jasper Rinalda out there in the middle. That young man can reach up and practically touch the rim, it looks like. He is a big man out on the floor. Didn't start last year against Roseburg, only had 9 points. We'll see how they use him here in the 2019-2020 season. The one returning starter from last year was Calvin Cahill, a senior guard at 6 foot. He scored just 5 points against Roseburg a year ago. And we'll see what he does along with the rest of the starting lineup for this Corvallis Spartins team. Led by head coach Ross Duerfelt. Jordan Humphreys, his first year leading the Roseburg Indians. We'll take a look at what he has for us coming up here tonight. We'll see if we can maybe get starters for the Corvallis side from down at the scorer's table. Carmen Finley might be able to help us out with that. Send our helpers down begrudgingly to the scorer's table. Appreciate that. So we try to, we'll get a look at our Supercut starting lineups here in just a bit once we get everybody set for tonight's matchup for the Corvallis Spartans. Joey Keyran here with you. Josh Nelson joining me in the booth as well. And Josh, we'll bring you in here, help us count down towards tip-off to tonight's matchup. Just about 12 minutes to go before things get started between Roseburg and Corvallis. Last game for Roseburg against North Eugene, a tough one. The Indians a little sluggish on the offensive side. Trailed 7-2 through much of that first quarter. Not as many points, only 42. That's a season low for Roseburg this season. So obviously looking to try and get some things going on the offensive side, but we saw Zach Martin have a quiet night, only 4 points for him. I would say that'd be one of the points of emphasis for this Roseburg team going into this matchup is for Zach Martin to get himself going and for the team to try and find some rhythm for him going into this matchup as well.
Yeah, I would say you're correct. You've got to get some points. If you're Martin, you got to help get some points, lead this team a little bit. And the Parker brothers need to get some points as well. And then you got to limit how many times you foul, too. We had 2 players last game that ended up in foul trouble, and you got to make sure that you're not ending up in foul trouble or where you foul out of the game, because right now this is a young, inexperienced team with Roseburg, and you've got to be able to stay on the floor as much as possible.
All righty, yeah, and we are looking to see what the, how things go as they continue to grow. Talking about it with Coach Jordan Humphreys in the pregame coaches interview, asking about how this team is doing in their growth as players and as leaders and as varsity basketball members. And it's a young team. No seniors on the roster. All of the oldest are juniors. Much of the starting lineup, juniors. A few sophomores that are getting a lot of playing time so far this season as well. And so it's going to be a group that's going to take some lumps. They're going to have to figure out what it's like at this level and how to be able to play against other 6A competition, other good 5A competition as well. And it's going to be an uphill battle for them here in their first year with all of these players starting at varsity. Looking back at that first game of the season, every time somebody stepped on the floor, we got the chance to say that they were making their varsity debut, that those were their first varsity points, that they were making their first varsity start. So that is, it is a year of first for many of these young men. We've seen some bright spots so far and hoping to see more of them coming up throughout tonight's contest as the Roseburg Indians try to get back in the win column and end this 3-game losing streak. Coming up on the schedule for the Roseburg Indians, they'll be hosting Willamette coming up next week on Tuesday. That'll be here at Robertson Memorial Gymnasium. But then they will take on Willamette in their first game from the Emerald Shootout Tournament being hosted by Sheldon High School up in Eugene. And that'll be on the 19th, 20th, and the 21st. Unfortunately, we will not be there to bring you coverage of that tournament. We cannot be there the whole time, so we elected not to make the trip up there since we can't bring you every game from the tournament. But we will, since we can't go to Eugene, we are available on that Friday night, and so we will pick up a sports special and do a Roseburg girls basketball game here on The Score coming up next Friday, a week from tonight. So while the boys are playing in a tournament up in Eugene that we will not be able to cover, we will fill in with a sports special and bring you a little bit of Roseburg girls basketball coming up next Friday night as they will be here at home in a matchup against Mountain View. So we'll look forward to that matchup for the Roseburg girls. Don't get a chance to see them all the time as they are always on the road or they're in the opposite location from where we are when it comes to the Roseburg boys basketball team, so we don't get a chance to see them for much of the season. And looking forward for a chance to see head coach Dane Tornell and the Roseburg girls basketball team in the second year there under Coach Tornell. Well, we've got the time, so let's go ahead and do it. Let's take a look at our Supercut starting lineups in the Steelhead Run Plaza across from Starbucks on Garden Valley Boulevard. Save time and check out styles online at supercuts.com. Start out with the visiting team, the Corvallis Spartans. Their starting lineup will feature senior Ethan Hester, a wing at 6 feet tall. A senior 6-foot guard, Calvin Cahill, will get his second consecutive start against the Roseburg Indians, starting last year for the Spartans. Also getting a start, he played against Roseburg last year, had 6 points. A senior wing at 6'2", Sebi Law. Bennett Davis is a junior at 6 foot, a post player. Did not play against Roseburg, but was on the varsity roster a year ago. He'll start. And then, of course, the big man in the middle scored 9 points against the Roseburg Indians a year ago. At 7'3", Jasper Reynalda will get the start in the middle. Turning our attention to head coach Jordan Humphreys' starting lineup for tonight's matchup. It looks very similar. It's been the same starting lineup we've seen all season for the Indians. Junior wing at 6'3", Atreyu Pinard will start, along with junior guard at 5'8", Jacob Parker. His brother, junior 5'8", Matt Parker, also starting tonight. Carson Six, the sophomore, 5'10", starting as well. And Zach Martin, the 6'3" junior, leading scorer for this Roseburg Indians team, will start tonight as well. Martin averaging 16.2 points per game tonight. Matt Parker averaging 10.2. And out of the starting lineup, 7.5 points per game for Atreyu Pinard, 5.2 for Jacob Parker, and just under 5 points for Carson Six per game so far this season. Off the bench, the big spark plug in 6'3" sophomore Danil Olson. He's averaging 11 points per game. He's been a very nice spark plug off the bench for the Roseburg Indians. And so that is a look at tonight's Supercuts starting lineups in the Steelhead Run Plaza across from Starbucks on Garden Valley Boulevard. Save time and check out styles online at supercuts.com. Got about 6 minutes to go until we tip this one off. And the Roseburg Indians getting ready to take on Corvallis. We are getting ready for this one to get underway. Gym filling up nicely here. Still no pep band so far for the home games for the Roseburg Indians. The pep band usually starts setting up once we get either on the other side of the Christmas break or once we get to league play in the month of January. This Roseburg Indian team going to be playing a lot of games in the month of December. It's usually a heavy portion of the season schedule in the month of December, and then you start getting ready for league play coming up in January. Roseburg will be playing a few non-league games after the new year before they get into league play in the Southwest Conference. Right now, looking at your Southwest Conference standings, leading the way at 4-1 is Grants Pass. They're up to number 10 in the OSAA power rankings. Sheldon at number 23 at 2-0 so far this year. North Medford is number 17 in the power rankings. They sit in at they have a record of 1-1. Number 45, South Eugene at 1-2 in the power rankings. Roseburg is 1-3 on the season. They are number 39 in the latest power rankings. And then rounding out things without a win so far this season, South Medford at 0-3. They're ranked 47th in the latest OSAA power rankings. Coming up tonight in the Southwest Conference, South Medford still looking for that first win. They will be hosting Beaverton. Grants Pass is on the road. They're taking on Douglas from Nevada. That's Douglas High School from Nevada in a non-league matchup there for Grants Pass. Willamette will face South Eugene tonight, that Eugene area matchup there. Also going on, the Shamrock Slam going on in Eugene, hosted by Sheldon. Looks like one of a couple of tournaments that the Irish will host this year. Both Sheldon and North Medford playing in the Shamrock Slam. Sheldon starts it out against Lake Oswego tonight, and North Medford is taking on Roosevelt in their first game from the Shamrock Slam. So those are your games going on around the Southwest Conference coming up this evening. A recap of the Roseburg JV team. Lost in the close one against Corvallis before the varsity game tonight, losing 60-59. They led by 14 at halftime. Couldn't hang on to the advantage in the second half. It's been a wild and rainy one out there tonight. Before we get too far here, let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Roseburg basketball, streaming online at 541radio.com and on the Score 92.3 FM and 1490. We are back here at Roseburg High School. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in for tonight's broadcast. Again, we are starting late because of the JV game running longer after a late start for the JV squads. We are getting ready for the tip-off of the varsity game under about 3 minutes to go before we get things tipped off here from Robertson Memorial Gymnasium. Roseburg taking on Corvallis in the season opener for the Spartins. Well, we've run through the starting lineups. We are filling time here, waiting for tip-off on this one, and we are getting very close. We will have another break here to cover the national anthem in just a couple of minutes. We will take some time before that, though, and the captains meeting at center court with the officials, Zach Martin, and I can't see the number on the back of his jersey, so I'm not sure which Parker brother it is down there that is meeting with the officials. Jasper Reynaldo on the other side. He is an easy man to pick out at 7'3". So getting ready for the night tonight. What do we got?
I've got a couple more scores.
All right, Josh.
Already. So
Josh taking a look at the scoreboard for us.
Girls basketball. Grants Pass, as you said, was playing Douglas, Nevada. The girls were also playing Douglas, Nevada for Grants Pass, and the girls lost to Douglas, Nevada, 56-31 there. And then in the Cow Creek Classic, Douglas JV at Mapleton, and Douglas JV ends up winning 35-23.
All right, good scores there. The Roseburg wrestling team is down in Reno, Nevada for the Tournament of Champions, and we had an update earlier, but a quick recap. 13 wrestlers go down there. 7 were still alive in the tournament last we checked. They had 4 that had made it to the quarterfinals and had 3 still in the consolation bracket fighting for their lives. Roseburg was in a tie for 7th place when we last had a look at it. So we'll try to keep you updated on the Reno Tournament of Champions. Also, Roseburg out on the coast wrestling at the North Bend Coast Classic that is going on at North Bend High School. So we'll be keeping an eye on those things and have updates for you when we can as we get ready to go for tip-off. We are just about there. It feels like it has been an hour since we've been on the radio. Probably not quite that long, but we are finally getting ready for tip-off. Hopefully you're excited. We should get ready to go here and have this one for you very soon as Roseburg and Corvallis get ready to square off in a non-conference matchup. Can the Roseburg Indians snap out of their 3-game losing skid? We will find out when we come back. The start to our contest is right around the corner. Roseburg basketball tonight brought to you by Fisher's Hearth and Home, serving Douglas County for over 30 years with the largest selection of wood, gas, pellet, and electric stoves and fireplaces in the area. Back with the tip-off to tonight's game after this on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
I am a nurse.
A firefighter.
A college student.
A mother.
And I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready.
For every storm.
And disaster that threatens my community.
I will always be there to protect my neighbors.
My family.
And my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to Stuart W. Robertson Memorial Gymnasium. As we get ready for tip-off of tonight's contest, the Roseburg Indians welcome in the Corvallis Spartins for a non-league interclassification matchup. The 5A Spartins taking on the 6A Indians. Roseburg looking to break out of their 1-3 record, the 3-game losing streak. On the other side, the Corvallis Spartans looking for a win in their season opener here tonight. We've got plenty in store for you, so stay with us as we get ready for tip-off. I'm Joey Kieran, happy to have you guys with us here this evening. The Spartans were just announced down on the floor by our public address announcer, Tom Nelson, as he gets ready to announce the Roseburg Indians. A reminder here, our starting lineups for the Corvallis Spartans: Ethan Hester, the senior, along with senior guard Calvin Cahill. A senior wing, Sebi Law. Bennett Davis, a junior post player. And then the big man at 7'3", Jasper Reynaldo, the senior, will be in the middle for the Spartans. Again, the starting lineups for head coach Jordan Humphreys and the Roseburg Indians: Atreyu Pinard, Jacob Parker, Carson Six, Matt Parker, and Zach Martin. And again, those are your Supercut starting lineups. Tonight's game brought to you by Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair. Are you ready to go where life takes you? And by Aviva Health. Roseburg will be in their home whites here tonight. First home game for them after 3 straight on the road. They'll have the home whites, numbers on the front and the back in black, outlined in orange. Roseburg across the chest in black as well. On the other side, it is the light blue color for Corvallis with the dark navy blue offset color for the numbers on the back, outlined in white. And the Spartans will take the floor As they get ready to go, it's going to be quite the mismatch in the middle. 7'3" Jasper Reynalda tipping against Atreyu Pinard at 6'3", gives up a full foot. It's Corvallis across the chest on one side, Roseburg on the other. We get ready to go. Roseburg will be moving left to right, Corvallis right to left. As the jump, gave it his best, but Atreyu couldn't quite get up enough. And it looked like Reynalda didn't even really try jumping all that much. So Corvallis has the basketball again, moving right to left. Out at the top with it, Hester lobs it underneath to Reynalda, and he gets mugged by about everybody underneath. Roseburg doing everything they can to stop the big man. It wasn't enough, and he just sets it over the front of the iron and gets fouled as he is in the act of shooting. And Jasper Reynalda looking to have a big senior season. The big man goes to the free throw line for an early three-point play. 2-0 to go, only 16 seconds into the ball game, and the free throw is smooth as silk. 3-0 lead for Corvallis, and Roseburg facing a press. Can't get the ball to midcourt. They toss it away right next to the scorer's table. Corvallis will inbound right next to the Roseburg bench, leading 3-0. Already a turnover for Roseburg. Inbound goes into Calvin Cahill. He goes around a screen out on the right side of the perimeter. Backs it out to the center circle. Dribbles to his left, bounces it away, gets it right back on the left wing. He launches a three, and he knocks it through. And Calvin Cahill will make it 6-0. Corvallis in front here early on. Dribbling right side, Roseburg with the basketball. Jacob Parker strapped in the corner, out to Pinard. He's going to try to attack, going up against the big man. Almost got the shot to go, but it's just off the glass, a little too strong for Pinard. Up the floor comes Corvallis. Reynalda passes it to the right side from the top of the key to the free throw line to Davis. He's going to take the shot. It rims out, and Roseburg will get the rebound. Bennett Davis missing the first shot for Corvallis. Pinard going to attack into the middle, and he gets called for the offensive as he tries to attack the rim. Pinard will get called for his first. Zach Martin and Atreyu Pinard both with fouls, and that's the two big men for Roseburg. Early foul for both of them. Not foul trouble yet, but it could come quickly with the big man Reynalda in the middle. Out to the top. They work it to the far side of the floor. Cahill with it. Bounces once, passes it away. A three. Back iron, no good. And Parker, Jacob Parker, down with the rebound off the miss by Sebi Law. Now a three from the right side by Carson Six. He was well off with his shot, but on the weak side, fight for the rebound, reaching around and poking the ball away. Atreyu Pinard will give Roseburg a second shot at it as he tips that ball out of bounds off of Corvallis. They get it into Martin, back out to the top, and Jacob Parker will reset the offense. 6:20 to go first quarter. It's 6-0. Corvallis in front. Pinard with it out atop the key. Far side three, and Zach Martin will hit the three to get Roseburg on the board. Cuts the deficit in half, 6-3 with 6:09 to go. Out to the top. Reynalda calling it underneath. He's head and shoulders above everybody. Hester will pass it away to Cahill. Dribbles to the left side, trying to attack. Stops at the post, back out to the free throw line. The two is no good for Davis. Gets his own rebound, went back up with it. Shot was no good. But with the offensive rebound, Reynalda, and the easy putback, he's got 5 in the game, and it's back to an 8-3 lead. Right side for Jacob. Drives in. The teardrop is too strong. Back up. The shot almost tip up for Pinard, almost goes through, but it doesn't fall. Rebound after the second attempt comes down to Corvallis. They bring it up on the near side. Cahill tries to pick and roll with Reynalda, and he throws it too strong. Jasper didn't get himself set looking for the basketball, and the pass goes out of bounds across the baseline. Turnover by Corvallis. They'll make substitutions. Sebi Law comes out of the game. And checking in is going to be Azel Bumpus, the senior. Parker to the far side to Pinard at the top. He picks up his dribble, needs to pass it to Six. He'll finally get it to him. Off the pass, a three by Martin, no good. And Reynalda down with the rebound. 1 for 2 from behind the arc for Zach Martin. On the other side, a cross-court pass by Azel Bumpus is tipped out of bounds, and it goes down the corridor towards the boys' locker room here at Roseburg High School. 5:02 to play first quarter, 8-3 the score. Corvallis in front. Zach Martin trying to get position underneath against 7'3" Jasper Reynalda, who comes out to set a screen. They try to go with the pick and roll. It's a three from the top by Cahill, and it's off. That rebound comes down to Jacob Parker. Up the floor, he goes quickly. Cut off at the baseline. Now double team. They tie him up, and the jump ball called. It'll favor Roseburg. Substitutions, Justin Misfelt and Ireland McFadden will come into the game for Corvallis. Hester takes a seat. So does Bennett Davis. Roseburg will set up on the inbound pass. Carson Six out to the top to Jacob Parker. He backs it out to the left side. Pass it. Six with it now at the top. Right of the key. Crossover between the legs. In the middle. Jump. And he had to get rid of it. Pass on the near side to Matt Parker. Tries to work against Bumpus. And he's cut off. Back out to the top to Jacob Parker. Between the circles. Head fake. Crossover behind the back dribble. Picks it up. Needs help. Matt Parker will come to get it. And calling for a timeout down on the floor. The offense just not getting the look that Coach Jordan Humphreys wanted. And with 4:14 to go here in the first quarter, it'll be a timeout by Roseburg. They'll take just the 32nd. We'll keep it here with the score 8-3 in favor of Corvallis. Tonight's game brought to you by Flyaway Travel. Contact their travel experts for your travel plans. Now located at 1445 West Harvard Avenue, or call them at 672-5701. And tonight's game brought to you by Umpqua Dairy, your local dairy since 1939. Well, so far, Jasper Reynalda leading the way with 5 points, but for a guy that is a foot taller than everybody else on the floor for Roseburg, so far they've been able to limit his action. The first play goes right to him, and he's able to set it just over the front of the iron for 2, and then drew the foul, made the three-point play. His other bucket that he has so far tonight came on a putback after the offensive rebound, and that'll definitely be an area that Reynalda can shine against Roseburg. But so far, they've been able to hold him at least somewhat in check. He's got 5 points. The other 3 for Corvallis going to Calvin Cahill. Right now, the 3 points in this game for Roseburg go to Zach Martin. Inbound, Matt Parker got it, went right to the rim, but he didn't want to go up against Mount Reynalda in the middle. Pass back out, Jacob Parker with it, running the offense. Roseburg trying to get some space from Corvallis, who's playing some really tight defense. Pinard going to take the shot from the right elbow, and it just rolls off the left iron, no good. 3:54 to play in the first quarter. Corvallis brings it up the floor. Bumpus going to try the catch and shoot 3, and the bank is open as he knocks it through. 11-3, 8-point lead for Corvallis, attacking on the other side, and Roseburg will draw a foul as Atreyu Pinard goes baseline and gets bumped by Corvallis. 3:41 to go, first quarter, 11-3, Corvallis in front. Substitution coming for the Spartans. It'll be Darren O'Hagan, the 6'3" senior, comes into the game, and it's Jasper Reynalda who's going to take a seat. And Roseburg will also substitute. Danil Olson will come into the game for Carson Six. This will be probably about the tallest lineup Roseburg has all season, with all 3 players listed at 6'3" on the floor. Zach Martin got the inbound, went to the left block, and just had it taken away by Ireland McFadden. Up the floor comes Corvallis into the corner. A shoulder fake. Curtis Coleman, who has come into the game. He passes it back out to the top. Crossover by Bumpus into the corner for Kuhlman. He has it out at the left wing. Now has an open look at a 3. Defense wasn't on him, and he drills it. Left wide open. He said, I'll take that shot. And it's out to an 11-point lead now for Corvallis. 14-3. 3:12 to play first quarter. Out at the high post. Pinard gets it. Trying to work. Dribbles left side. Got free. Double team comes, and he's mugged as he goes up. He lost O'Hagan at first, but then down underneath. The foul called, and that's going to go against Justin Misfelt, his second. 2 team fouls against either side, and Jasper Reynalda getting ready to check back in after a quick break for the Spartans. It's an 11-point lead. Apparently they do not want to allow it to get out of hand or allow it to Roseburg to get back into this one at all. Reynalda ready to go back in. Free throw for Pinard goes through, his first point of the night. 10-point margin. Justin Misfelt, that also could have been the reason why they bring Reynalda back in, is that Misfelt with the 2 fouls, they don't want him to get any worse in the foul trouble. Second free throw, no good for Pinard. Reynalda down with the rebound. Up the floor, Corvallis on the far side with it, McFadden. Back out, Bumpus, going to lob it underneath to Reynalda. He went for the dunk, but he lost a handle on it, and the rebound comes down to Pinard. and he gets hit by Reynalda. First miss of the night for Jasper. He had it open underneath and somehow just lost it out of his hands, and I think he's looking to the official saying, trying to plead a case on why he shouldn't have been called for the foul, but it'll be his first. Roseburg brings it up the floor. Across the timeline, Jacob Parker. Dribbling against Kuhlman out the top. He'll go to his right, backs it back out. Looking for some help. He gets it to Matt Parker, and a foul called against Bumpus. So Azell Bumpus will pick up his first. That'll be the 5th team foul against Corvallis. Make it the 4th. Inbound to Jacob. Parker looking to his left. Olsen will set up over on the far wing. Motion offense on the near side. Out at the right elbow. Ball poked away from Martin, and coming up with it, a shot from about 8 feet, and it's another bank shot. And this time Darren O'Hagan will get it to fall. And it's, I believe it should be 16-4, and there it is. It's out to a 12-point lead, largest of the night for Corvallis. Olsen has it out at the top to Matt Parker, far side. He'll launch the 3, and he's got it. Matt Parker, 10 points in his last game, has a season high of 15. He's been good from behind the arc, and he gets that one to fall. Reynalda tried to dump it off to a teammate as he was down on the other end of the floor, and the ball got taken away. Roseburg will have it on the steal. Olsen brings it up the floor to Martin in the middle. Back out between the circles for Matt Parker. Dribbles to the right side, gets it to Martin. Dribbles in the lane and trying to reach in to poke the ball away. Darren O'Hagan will get called for the foul. And that'll be the 5th team foul against Corvallis. And Roseburg trying to get the Spartans into foul trouble early. Coming out will be O'Hagan as well as Kuhlman checking out of the game. New man in, Spencer Vingellen will come into the game. And back in also Ethan Hester. It's a big roster for Corvallis, and they're using a lot of them. Inbound goes to Pinard. He's going to try to attack. Triple team in the middle, and he loses the handle. Take away by Corvallis. Reynalda really gives you a defensive element. On the other side, attacking, and can't finish with the right arm. Spencer Vingellen will get fouled and will head to the free throw line. The foul goes against Atreyu Pinard. Ronaldo was in the middle against Pinard. He tried to attack. He saw the big man and tried to work his way back out of the middle of the paint, and that's when the rest of the defense collapsed, and that's what that big body in the middle and Jasper Reynaldo will do for a defense. He just takes up so much space. He'll take a seat again. Carson Six comes back in for Roseburg, and Pinard takes a seat with his 2 fouls. Reynaldo will take a seat. First free throw was off the mark for Vingellen. Coming in was, I believe, O'Hagan came back. No, excuse me, it's Davis comes back into the game for Corvallis as Vingellen gets his second at the free throw line. Now Roseburg loses the handle in the backcourt, trailing by 10, 17-7. A minute 20 to go in the first quarter. Driving in, and a circus shot for Ireland McFadden. He gets it to rattle through the cylinder. A minute 12 to play, 19-17. Back to a 12-point lead. Martin trying to attack, and Bumpus is going to get called for the foul, and that's going to probably send him back to the bench with his second foul. Calvin Cahill will head out as Bumpus comes to the bench. It'll be the 16th foul against Corvallis. 19-7 the score with a minute 06 to play in the first quarter. Inbound goes to Matt Parker. Almost lost a handle, gets around the defense, out to the top. Six had an open look but didn't take the 3. Gives it to Olsen, who drives in from the right side, no good. Got his own rebound, put back, no good, as he was bumped as he got hit. And Roseburg comes down with the rebound. Olsen got it out to Six. Now they go in the middle to Martin. Martin, turnaround jumper is good. Roseburg, 3 attempts. They get 1 to finally fall. Back to a 10-point deficit. 34 seconds to play first half. And a steal on the on the pick and roll. It's Olsen trying to go coast to coast with the left hand. Eye off the glass, no good. Six down with the rebound. Carson goes back up and he's hit. He can't get it to fall, but he'll get a chance to go to the line. Found a seam and the defense collapsed late, getting him. And Six will head to the line for his first points. They call the foul against Ireland McFadden, his first. Carson Six goes to the line into the bonus now. Roseburg will get free throws from here on out. Six missing the first of his 2 free throws. McFadden will check out of the game. Sebi Law will come back in. Roseburg basketball tonight brought to you by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages of Roseburg. Grab a refreshing, delicious Pepsi today. Second free throw for Six doesn't go. Corvallis down with the rebound. 19 seconds to play first quarter. Leading by 10. At the left elbow. Back out to the top. Looking underneath. Got tipped by a couple of Corvallis players. Saved back inbounds by Davis. 6 seconds to play. Driving baseline. Got the edge and up and through for Vingellen. He's got 3 and a three-quarter shot. Three-quarter court shot no good for Matt Parker. And Roseburg will take a 12-point deficit going to the second quarter. 21-9, Corvallis in front. Back after this 60-second break on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
8 minutes up on the clock. The Roseburg Indians trailing by 12, matching their largest deficit of the night. Looking to try and come back here in the second quarter before going to the break against the Corvallis Spartins. Joey Keyran here with you from Roseburg High. Thanks for tuning in for tonight's high school basketball here on the Score. Try to enter it into Jasper Reynalda. The pass was too long, but Carson Six actually tipped it to Reynalda. And then Reynalda trying to pass it back out. The ball tipped by Roseburg as it goes out of bounds into the stands. Gets sent back from the students over there. Corvallis will get another look at it. 10 seconds ticked away here in the second quarter. 21-9 our score. Corvallis moving right to left on your radio dial, wearing their blue jerseys tonight. They go underneath to Reynalda, right in the middle. And they call it travel before the one-handed dunk. And Reynalda not happy with the call as he trots to the other end of the floor. 3 players in the backcourt for Corvallis as they put the full court pressure on, trying to trap Jacob Parker. He gets it to Matt Parker. Got to get it across the timeline. They will. Up to 6. Now Roseburg in the half court. Matt Parker, an open look at a 3. It's off the iron, no good. Rebound comes down to Corvallis. Second miss of the night for Parker from behind the arc. He's 1 of 3. Out to the free throw line. The jumper doesn't fall. Offensive board, put back, no good. Another offensive board, no. Pulled down by Olsen for Roseburg. Underneath, it was Davis with the miss as well as Vingellen. Into the corner, Martin a 3. Rattles it through. Zach Martin, his second 3 of the night. He's got 8 in the ballgame, leading scorer for Roseburg. The Indians into double figures, trailing by 9. Back to single-digit deficit. Out at the top, Cahill with it. Calls out the play, holding a 1 above his head. They go to the free throw line to Reynalda. Pass to the right side. Cahill tries to save it back inbounds. Roseburg will get it. Leaking out. Jacob Parker goes right to the rim with the right hand, and he puts it in. Steal and a finish for Roseburg, and they're back within make it 8. Now Reynalda wide open underneath, and this time no travel as he uses 2 hands to flush it through. His 3rd attempt at a dunk tonight, and he gets it to fall. That'll stop the little bit of momentum Roseburg had building, trailing 23-14 now, 6:09 to go, second period. Olsen, a 3. The sophomore just off the mark. 6 tried for the rebound, couldn't get it. Corvallis brings it up the floor, but their transition pass down the floor too far out in front of Sebi Law. He can't hang on to it. And it'll be a turnover back to Roseburg. Corvallis goes with some wholesale changes here. Cahill out there. McFadden. Also O'Hagan. Reynalda. And Misfelt out on the floor for the Spartans. Full court pressure by Corvallis. Working one-on-one, Matt Parker gets it to 6. Up the floor to Jacob Parker. Pass it into the corner. It's a baseline jumper from Olsen, and it's just too strong. Olsen had a good look at it from 12 feet. Couldn't get it to fall. Over to the far side, a quick trigger 3. It's too long. Underneath to Neil Olsen. Able to get the rebound. Off the glass from O'Hagan. Up the floor, Roseburg nearly goes across the baseline. Out to Martin, tries in. He'll go up against the big man, and his shot just rolls off the edge of the iron. Zach Martin attacking right to the heart of the defense. Can't get it to fall. Back and forth, here we go. 5:20 to play, second quarter. 23-14, out to the top. A 3 from the left side, looks on, but it's a bit long for Mitzfeld. His first shot of the night. Roseburg quickly up the floor. In transition, a block, but a foul. McFadden thought he had a clean block from the backside against Martin, but he gets called for the foul. And Ireland McFadden will pick up his second foul of the night. And going to the line for 2 will be Zach Martin. Martin right now with 8 points in the ballgame. 18 fouls against Corvallis. Roseburg is in the bonus.
Zach Martin at the line to shoot 2.
Martin at the line. Martin, the junior right-handed shooter, will hit the first for Roseburg's second made free throw on its 5th attempt. McFadden checks out of the game. Ethan Hester back in. Excuse me, I believe it was Azell Bumpus that came back in. Tonight's game brought to you by Kegel Communications. Second free throw for Martin. Knocks it through. 23-16. Roseburg back within 7. Closest they've been since early on in the first quarter. Pass underneath, and, well, he was wide open. Nobody there after they gambled to try and steal it. And Reynalda flushes another dunk through. To the far side, Matt Parker, an open look at a 3 for Roseburg. Rattles off the rim, hit hard, and doesn't fall. Reynalda down with the easy rebound. He'll have it out at the top, loses a handle on it, but collects it. Martin out there to mark him. Reynalda beyond the perimeter will go for the pick and roll. Now he just sets the screen off the mark for O'Hagan, and the rebound through the hands of Reynalda, and now in pressure. O'Hagan is going to get called for a reach in. Darren O'Hagan will pick up his second. 25-16 the score. 9-point advantage right now for Corvallis, but Roseburg trying to hit at the line to make it a 7-point game again. Alaric Call will come in for the first time tonight. Zach Martin getting a breather. At the free throw line will be Carson 6. So for 2 so far at the stripe. It's a 1-and-1, and they're going to say a lane violation. So the shot was no good for 6, but he'll get another look at it.
Come on, Carson.
Midway through second quarter here. And on the second attempt of it, Carson 6 will get it to go through. So 6 gets a second one. After the first one was a redo. Carson 6 now 1 of 3 from the line. His first points of the night. Second one off the left iron, no good, but tracking down the rebound is Roseburg. Matt Parker had it in the corner. Roseburg will reset. And a timeout by Roseburg. They will take a 30-second timeout. 4:17 to go here in the second quarter. A 30-second timeout. We'll come back after a 30-second break. Roseburg currently trailing 25-17 on the score. 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
Back at Roseburg High School tonight for the Indians and the Spartans. Roseburg currently trailing 25-17 against the Corvallis Spartans. Roseburg out of the timeout with the basketball. Zach Martin, a three from the left side, no good on his miss. Up the floor in transition, Reynalda going to draw the foul as he tries to attack against Martin. And that'll send Jasper Reynalda, the 7'3" senior, to the free throw line for a second time tonight. He connected on the first play of the game. He made a bucket, got fouled, and converted the three-point play on his only free throw attempt of the night. 7'3". A lot of times you think big men struggle at the free throw line. His first free throw shot was pretty earlier in the game, and he gets this one to fall through. 4:02 to go in the ball game. Back out to a 9-point advantage for Corvallis. Second free throw, not a lot of rotation on it, and the free throw missed, a little long by Reynalda, and Roseburg comes down with the rebound. Pass underneath, Martin, a pump fake, drives in with the right hand, gets it to die on the back of the iron and fall through. Zach Martin more aggressive tonight, much better night scoring for Roseburg's junior. Now on the other side, a long two is off, the fight for the rebound. It was off by O'Hagan, and the fight underneath, the call is a foul against Reynalda on the rebound attempt. Roseburg doing a good job underneath, fighting for those rebounds against Reynalda. He's got make it 12 inches on Roseburg's tallest players, so at least a foot on everybody. But they've been doing a good job getting in there, poking their hands and trying to poke away those rebounds, and it works out here for Roseburg. They'll walk to the other end of the floor, now into the double bonus for the Indians. They'll get two here for Carson Six, and he hits the first.
Carson Six is at the line and shooting a two-shot bonus. Into the Indian lineup, Larry Call.
Roseburg back within 6 now. Closest they've been since early on in the game. Second free throw for Six, no good. Rebound was tipped by up by Call, and Roseburg comes up with it. A fight for the basketball, loose again, and now Corvallis will take it. Working up the floor on the left side, Ethan Hester gets the two. 8-point margin, 28-20, 3:24. A lot of time still left here in the first half of this game. Roseburg looking for a few stops and a few buckets. Right side, splitting everybody and right to the rim. Jacob Parker, he's got 4 in the quarter. 6-point game. Other side of the floor, wide open three. It's off. Rebound weak side pulled down by Hester. Off of the miss by Kuhlman. Out at the top, Bumpus will reset the offense in the half court for the Spartans. He dribbles right side, hands it off to O'Hagan. Back to the top to Hester. Coming to get it, Misfelt will have it on the right wing, marked by Call. Driving left side with the left hand. O'Hagan passes back out, a three off the mark, and the rebound pulled down after the miss by O'Hagan. And a foul on the other side is driving to the rim, goes Matt Parker. He'll pick up the foul.
Foul on number 3.
I believe that was actually Kuhlman, that missed the three on the other end. And then the rebound, and Roseburg in transition, able to get out in front. And so Matt Parker to the line. Matt Parker tonight, he's got just the 3 points. First trip to the free throw stripe for him. And the junior will hit it. Parker came into tonight's contest averaging 10.2 points per game. It's the third foul against Justin Misfelt, who takes a seat with the 3 fouls. Matt Parker hits both of his free throws, and Roseburg's back within 4. A big second quarter for the Roseburg Indians. They've put up 15 in the period. Driving right side is Zelt Bumpus. That man is using the glass every inch of it tonight. He goes off the backboard for 2. Back to a 6-point lead. Jacob Parker driving in, almost traveled. He wanted to pass the ball, but saw the blue jerseys, nearly drug his back foot, passed it away, and it goes off a Corvallis player. So the Indians will keep it on the baseline. Bumpus checks out of the game. Calvin Cahill coming back in for the Spartans. Catch and shoot on the inbound 3 for Matt Parker. It rimmed out. Touching every inch of the iron, doesn't want to fall. And up the floor comes Corvallis. On the far side, Hester, a skip pass across the floor. A 3 is long. Rebound, though, offensive. Another look at a 3 is good for Kuhlman. 2 looks and he gets the second. And just like that, Corvallis back out in front by 9. A 6-foot jumper for Carson Six. Doesn't fall, a little flat on the shot. Corvallis up the floor in transition. Speedy game going on here in the second. Cahill will bounce to the right elbow. Gets it back on a handoff. Back to the top. Going to drive in and hit. It'll be a Alaric Call that draws the foul there. 15 foul against Roseburg. First against Call. Corvallis will inbound from their own baseline. Inbound from Cahill goes right in the middle and off the mark by Bennett Davis. He had the short jumper, tried to use the backboard, can't get it to go. Roseburg could use a bucket before the end of the first half. Trailing by 9, ball almost stolen away. Gets it back to Jacob Parker in the middle, tucks it in, out to 6. 6 gets it to Call, driving in, had his shot blocked. Corvallis comes up with the loose ball. Cahill dribbling left side. That could have been a double dribble out to Kuhlman, and his 3 off the mark. He's tried 6 of them, only hit 2. Roseburg comes down with the rebound. 65 seconds to play in the first half. Jacob Parker out at the top, looking for cutters. Goes to the right elbow, gets it to Olsen. He drives in, draws the blocking foul. And Daniil Olsen will head to the free throw line for the first time tonight. He is scoreless in the ballgame, trying to get on the board and get Roseburg a few points closer. It'll be a 2-shot foul with 56.2 seconds to go here in the first half. Olsen's first free throw is good. 33-25, 8-point game. Roseburg basketball this season on the score, brought to you by Terra Firma Foundations. Second free throw, Olsen can't get it to fall. Up the floor comes Corvallis. 51 seconds. They go quickly underneath and dribbling it off his own foot. Underneath Bennett Davis. Turns it back over to Roseburg with 49 seconds. Made bucket. Could get Roseburg back within 6. Up the floor, though, a pass to Parker is pulled away. Corvallis with it in transition. Attacking the rim, and an offensive foul. This one goes against Vingelen.
Corvallis foul number 23. Player control foul, Spencer Vingelen.
Vingelen, I hear PA announcer Tom Nelson say. I apologize if I've been saying that wrong. 35 seconds to go. Roseburg facing the full court pressure from Corvallis. They will break it into the half court. Matt Parker with it left side. Picks up the dribble. Pass to Jacob. Things open up. He'll attack. And he gets the bucket. Wanted the foul to go with it. Doesn't get the call, but he gets the points. 33-27, a 6-point game. Roseburg looking for a stop in the final 15 seconds of the first half. In the middle, ball poked away. Almost got a steal. Roseburg can't get their hands on it. Cahill has it out at the top. Goes to the right elbow at the free throw line. Back to Cahill, left wing. Looking underneath. Now passes it. A 3 off the iron at the buzzer for Vingelen. And that will take us to the halftime break. 33-27, a furious comeback by Roseburg. And they get it back within 6 as we go to the halftime break. Don't go anywhere, folks. We've got your more well-drilling halftime show coming up when we return after this 2-minute break. This is Roseburg basketball on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Hi, my name is Mark Martin. Thanks for watching Roseburg Football on 541radio.com.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
Welcome back to Stuart W. Robertson Memorial Gymnasium. It's time for the Morewell Drilling Halftime Show, keeping Douglas County green since 1947. Give Morewell Drilling a call at 541-459-4039. Joey Keyran here with you at our halftime break. Our score, 33-27 in favor of the visiting Corvallis Spartans. In the first half of this one, Corvallis jumping out to a 12-point lead in the first quarter, and they were able to hold on to a big lead throughout that first quarter, leading 21-9 at the end of the period. But Roseburg comes back inspired in the second quarter, outscoring Corvallis 18-12, drawing back within 6 points here at the halftime break. Roseburg got it down to a 3-point game at one point, I believe it was, there in that second period. But they couldn't quite get the stop and bucket they needed to get a little bit closer or maybe even try and take a lead for the first time. But they are probably got to be feeling pretty good after being down by as many as 12. Feel pretty good about being down only 6 here at the halftime break. Coming up in our next segment of the halftime show, we'll take a look at your halftime statistics for the players in the first half, so stay with us for that. At the break, it's 33-27. Roseburg trailing against Corvallis at the moment. Tonight's game been brought to you by Cascade Community Credit Union, belong to Douglas County, and by Jiffy Lube and One Champion Car Wash. Back after another 2-minute break with a more look at your first half statistics. We'll bring you the Lamert Orthodontics stat update when we return on the Morewell Drilling Halftime Show here on 541radio.com and on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
Here at halftime,
What rhymes with great?
Now to take a look at our Lamert Orthodontics scoreboard, or stat update that is. Embrace life. Call Lamert Orthodontics at their Roseburg office, 673-0924. Well, for the visiting Corvallis Spartans tonight, leading the way in double figures is Jasper Reynaldo with 10 points total. He is 4 of 5 from the floor and 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Also for Corvallis, 6 points for Curtis Kuhlman on a pair of made three-pointers. 5 points for Azel Bumpus. And then you've got, let's see here, 2 points for Ethan Hester. 3 points for Justin Misfelt, that is. Ireland McFadden with 2. Spencer Vingelen is got 3 in the game, and Darren O'Hagan has 2 in the game as well. On the other side, for the Roseburg Indians, leading the way with 12 points is Zach Martin, 5 for Matt Parker, 6 points for Jacob Parker, 2 points for Carson Six, and 1 for Danil Olson. And that is a look at your Lamert Orthodontics stat update. Josh Nelson has been checking out the scoreboard on what might be going on around some of the other matchups in the Umpqua Basin tonight. Josh, any updates you can provide us here at the halftime break?
Yeah, there's a lot going on today, so I actually haven't got through everything so far. But right now what I've got boys basketball-wise, Corvallis at Roseburg JV. As you know, Roseburg JV fell by 1 point to Corvallis, 60-59. Newport at Sutherland. Newport ends up winning that game for the boys basketball team, 60-50. Douglas JV at Mapleton. Mapleton ends up walking away with that one in the Cow Creek Classic, 50-20. And then in the Douglas Booster Tournament, Pleasant Hill at Umpqua Valley Christian. Pleasant Hill beats Umpqua Valley Christian, 61-40. Canyonville Academy at Douglas, also in the Douglas Booster Tournament. Douglas wins that one against Canyonville Academy, 69-34. Going down to the girls' basketball schedule, Grants Pass versus Douglas, Nevada. The girls, Grants Pass girls lost that one, 56-31. The Cow Creek Classic, Douglas JV versus Mapleton. Douglas JV beat Mapleton 35-23. Douglas Booster Tournament, Pleasant Hill at Douglas for the girls basketball. Pleasant Hill wins that one 50-42. In the North Douglas Winter Invitational, North Douglas ends up beating Lowell 38-21. And in the Cougar Classic, Damascus Christian ends up beating Days Creek 51-35.
All right, thank you, Josh. We got to get a 60-second break before the second half. We'll do that and come back with your second half tip-off. This is Roseburg Basketball on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event, plus you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Stay tuned for more Roseburg basketball on 541radio.com.
Back for the start of the second half. Roseburg trailing Corvallis 33-27. We start things off. Jacob Parker, baseline 8-foot jumper is off the mark for Parker as Roseburg starts out the second half with the basketball but can't cash in with points. Trailing 33-27 in this non-league matchup between Corvallis and Roseburg. Corvallis now moving left to right on your radio dial. Azel Bumpus, Ethan Hester, Jasper Reynaldo out on the floor. Also joining him out there is going to be Bennett Davis and Calvin Cahill. In the middle, Bumpus tried to dump it over the top to Reynaldo, and the ball tipped, and it goes to Matthew Parker. Parker brings it up the floor, stops, gets it to Martin on the far side for Roseburg. Jacob Parker, Matt Parker, Zach Martin, Carson Six, and Atreyu Pinard starting 5 on the floor for the Indians to begin the second half. Pinard gets it out at the free throw line, trying to work against Davis, drives baseline, got right to the rim, and a very aggressive and heads-up play for Atreyu Pinard. He gets 2 there, and Roseburg's back within 4. Pass across the floor to Hester. Tried to dump it underneath to Reynalda, and that ball tipped out of bounds, more like swatted out of bounds by Zach Martin. So good defense there by Martin to step in front and knock the ball away. Corvallis will have it underneath. They go to Reynalda in the middle, and a foul before the shot as Reynalda right in the middle just flew it up and over to dump it through the rim. It'll be the first foul against Roseburg in the second half. They put that foul against Carson Six, his first. Inbound from the baseline for Corvallis to Cahill on the far side, looking to lob underneath. It's not there. They'll pull it back out to the near side for Bumpus. Marked by Jacob Parker. Gets the string, the pick and roll. They goes away from it. Ball tipped away by Roseburg. I thought it was going out of bounds, but Six saves it in. Up the floor. Pinard backing his way in the middle. He had Reynalda there that had a chance at a swat. He couldn't get it. Off a weak side rebound by Martin. It was then a putback no good for Martin, but Roseburg gets a third look at it. Martin has it now out at the top on the far side. Six back to the far side. Matt Parker, a 3, rattles out, and a rebound comes down to Reynalda. Reynalda with it straight away on the other side. Bumpus going to try the 3. The rainbow shot is good. And Azell Bumpus will put it through. 36-29, 7-point lead. Offensive on the other side.
Roseburg foul number 25, Zach Martin.
They call that one.
His third.
Offensive foul against Zach Martin. And it's the third for him. Bumpus goes left side for Corvallis. Head fake now for Cahill. Steps inside. His shot was long. Weak side rebound. And Reynalda will put it through. Jasper Reynalda now with 12 in the game. Martin across the floor. Matt Parker thought about a 3. Doesn't take it. Drives in. Gets cut off. He'll have to pass it away. Back out to the top. Matt Parker with it, out between the circles. Passes it off to Six at the free throw line. Turns, drives in, offensive against Carson Six.
Roseburg, player control foul on number 5. Carson Six.
So the foul against Carson Six. The offensive turns the ball over. Azell Bumpus brings it up the floor. Matt Parker fighting to try and steal it away from Hester, and he can't quite get it. Now to the far side, Cahill for Corvallis, drives baseline in the middle. They tried to lob it up to Reynalda. It goes off the rim, and Roseburg comes away with it. Jacob Parker will set up the offense out near the orange circle in the middle with the big black R for Roseburg. 38-29, it's a 9-point deficit. Head fake, driving in, Six goes to the rim, and it's able to go through. Carson Six, his first field goal of the night, he's got 4. 38-31, out to the top. Bumpus lobs underneath the Reynalda, turns, and all he has to do is just turn, square himself up, and he's easily able to get another 2. 40-31, a 9-point margin still for Corvallis. Roseburg had it down to 6 at halftime. Midway through the third quarter. Long pass to the corner. It's Parker. His shot no good. Tip up, though, by Jacob Parker, and Roseburg will reset. Six has it at the top. Almost stolen away by Bumpus. Now a 3 in the corner by Olsen is good. 2 looks on the trip for Roseburg. They're back within 6, 40-34. Out at the top, calling out the play. Cahill runs it to the right side. Out to the top to Reynalda. Back to Cahill on the left wing. Working against Six to the top. Bumpus, a catch and shoot 3 is short, just grazes the rim and out of bounds. Roseburg will get it after the miss. And substitutions coming in for Corvallis. Reynalda will take a seat. Into the game for Corvallis. Justin Misfelt comes in. Ireland McFadden also checking in to the game. Ball stolen away from the backside against Daniil Olson. Up the floor, Cahill working against Jacob Parker, who got a all ball, but it might have been the offhand that he gets called for on that one. Jacob Parker will pick up the foul, his first of the game, and it's the fourth team foul against Roseburg in the second half. No team foul so far against Corvallis. It's a 6-point game at the line. Trying to stretch it is Calvin Cahill, who hits his first free throw of the night. Roseburg basketball this evening brought to you by DC Farmers Co-op, where everyone is welcome to shop, and by Mercy Medical Center. Cahill hits them both. 42-34, back to an 8-point game. Jacob Parker picks up this dribble in the backcourt, but he'll pass it across to Matt. 6 at the top, looks in the middle. Pinard has it, working right to the rim, but he got too far underneath, lost his position, and he puts up a wild shot, no good. Up the floor, Ireland nearly goes across the baseline out of bounds, and then as he tries to save it back in, he throws it away. Corvallis gives it back to Roseburg. Cahill will take a seat. Back into the game, Spencer Vingelen will check in off the bench. Jacob Parker bringing it from the backcourt to the front court. 8-point game here in the third quarter. Pinard gets it, tries to work right side of the rim, and a jump ball called. Possession arrow will favor Corvallis. They'll get it back. Pinard got a little wild underneath and lost his control, got tied up. The Roseburg Indians will try to set up some full court pressure, can't get the stop. In the half court comes Corvallis. Bumpus has it on the near side. He'll set up the offense. The senior backs out to the center circle. Bounce pass away, left side to Misfeld. Back to Bumpus on the near side. It's a three, and it'll fall through. Third of the night for Curtis Coleman. His third three-pointer on his 8th attempt. To the right side for Matt Parker against Bumpus. Back to the top, Olson to the free throw line. Pinard turns, squares, back out to Olson. The lefty with the three, knocks it down as he gets knocked to the floor. No foul call, but the three will be big. Roseburg back within 8, 45-37. Left side with it. Vingelen drives inside the arc, but has to pick it up, pass it back out. Bumpus going to try the three, and he knocks it right through. 3 of 4 from behind the arc for Bumpus. 48-37, back to an 11-point lead. Largest has been 12 in the first quarter for Corvallis. Parker has it. That's Jacob on the baseline, far side. Skip pass out to Olson, who gets knocked down again as he hits another three. His third of the quarter. He's got 10 in the game. Daniil Olson, the sophomore, big off the bench. And Coach Humphreys trying to plead his case for a foul on the follow-through. At the right elbow. Lob pass to the far side. Bumpus driving in. Too strong with his right hand. 6 comes down with the rebound. Roseburg trying to press it up the floor. Matt Parker driving baseline. Gets the defender in the air. His shot swatted. No foul. Corvallis brings it up in transition. Far side. McFadden. Head fake. Drives in. One-handed pass. A three from the near side. Rattles through for Justin Misfeld. His first points of the night. 51-40, back to an 11-point game. Ball tipped away, goes back to Roseburg. Head fake, driving in. The baseline jumper from 6 is off. Pinard underneath, goes back up. His shot no good. 6 on the third attempt will go. Pinard in 6, working hard underneath the glass for those offensive boards. 51-42, a 9-point game, 20 seconds to go, third quarter. Roseburg trying to stay close. On the left side with it. McFadden back out to the top for Misfeld. Looking underneath. They go to the left side. It's a catch and shoot three that'll go. The three ball working here in the third quarter for Corvallis. Curtis Kuhlman gets it. And dribbling out the third quarter. Matt Parker didn't realize the third quarter coming to a close. Fast-paced third quarter, 54-42. Corvallis in front. Back after this 60-second break with your fourth quarter on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
8 minutes on the board. The Roseburg Indians trailing 54-42 against the visiting Corvallis Spartans. Corvallis trying to hang on for a win. They've led by as many as 12. They're on top by 12 at the moment here to start this fourth quarter. Carson Six has it, dribbles left side of the lane, out to Olsen on the left side. He drives in. The 8-foot jumper is no good, but the first foul of the second half called against Corvallis, and it'll be an inbound from the baseline for the Roseburg Indians after the foul called against Sebi Law, his second. Inbound goes to Matt Parker, a catch and shoot three from the left wing. His shot was no good, but a whistle on the rebound attempt, and they'll call it on Curtis Kuhlman. Coleman will pick up his second team foul against Corvallis. Inbound from Six goes out to Matt Parker. Inbound or pass underneath the call, back out to the top. To the left side now for Matt Parker. Into the corner. Alaire Call looking underneath. He'll dribble. And back out to the top for Olsen. Olsen gets it to Carson Six, and it's tipped out of his hands. It'll stay with the Indians. So the 12-point lead it is right now, matching the largest of the game for Corvallis. Roseburg had it at 6 at halftime. Just haven't been able to sustain a run against the Spartans. Jacob Parker pass to Matt on the far side. Call has it now at the top of the key. Trying to work against Reynaldo, draws him into the paint, back out to the top. Matt Parker with it at the right side of the lane. Six has it. Back to Matt into the corner. Olsen going to drive in. The baseline jumper is off. He tips out the offensive rebound, and it'll stay with Roseburg. They'll get another try. Jacob Parker has it out at the top to Matt Parker near side. The three, he doesn't take it, passes it up. Now gets it to Call, driving left side. He pauses it at the left block. Wide open look at a three now for Carson Six. It's long. Offensive rebound. It's pulled in by Call. Roseburg will get another look. Far side. Driving baseline, Jacob Parker to Matt in the corner. Back out, Roseburg whipping it around the floor. Olsen on the far side to the free throw line to Call. Driving in, he gets his shot swatted, but it goes right to Jacob Parker. Now a corner three from Olsen. It's long, and Roseburg's offensive possession finally comes to an end, although a whistle on the backcourt, as it'll be a foul called against Danil Olsen.
Timeout Corvallis. 30-second timeout.
Timeout on the floor by Corvallis. Let's take one as well. 6:18 to go in the fourth quarter. 54-42, Corvallis in front here on The Score.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Fourth quarter with 6:16 to go in this ball game. Roseburg trailing 54-42. Tonight's game brought to you by Good Vibration Solutions for home theater and automotive audio. You can feel it at Good Vibes. Corvallis out of the timeout, has the basketball poked away by Olsen, but he can't get to it. Now they lob it to Reynaldo for the easy two-hand dunk, and he can't get it to go. He's had two misses on the night, and they've both been on two-hand dunk attempts. Coming out of the game, Vingelin will check out. Vingelin, will check out of the game. Roseburg will have it out of the after the foul called against Cahill. Another substitution as El Bumpus will come into the game for Cahill. Zach Martin back into the game. We have not seen a lot of him here as of recent. getting a bit of a rest. Jacob Parker brings it across the timeline into the corner, gets it to Martin, trying to drive baseline. He got bumped, and they'll call it an offensive foul against Zach Martin. It was a very late whistle. .5:43 to play. Out at the top, Ronaldo to the right side. Bumpus. Out to the top, they pass it to Coleman. Back to Bumpus to set up the half-court offense again. Working against Jacob Parker. Driving in, Bumpus had it stripped out of his hands, loses it. It'll stay with Corvallis. Out to the top. On the inbound pass, it goes to O'Hagan. He'll pass it away. A long two this time from Coleman. His first shot from inside the arc, and he gets it to go. 56-42. Roseburg down by 14. Largest deficit of the game for the Indians. To the left side. Matt Parker gets it to Pinard. Going to drive right side up against Ronaldo, and he'll draw the foul. Third of the night for Jasper Reynaldo. It's a shooting foul, so Atreyu Pinard will head to the free throw line. Pinard goes to the line where he has 1 of 2 tonight. And he'll miss the front end. Roseburg basketball this evening is sponsored by Abby's Legendary Pizza and by Mahalo Heating and Cooling, your best choice for the finest indoor comfort control. Call them today at 672-6707. Ronaldo checked out of the game at the last buzzer. Second free throw, halfway down, comes back out. Offensive rebound for Roseburg. Ball on the ground, though, loose as it got tipped away by Corvallis, and a travel call. It's going to be called against Bennett Davis. On the ground, he rolled over, and they call him for a travel. So Roseburg will get it back after the near steal by the Spartans. Inbound for Olsen underneath the basket, into the corner. Head fake by Jacob Parker, out to the top to Matt. Now to Pinard on the right side, working in the blocks. Tries to turn it square, double team comes. He got hit as he puts it off the glass, and Pinard will get it to fall through. 12-point game again. 4:36 to go, fourth quarter. Pinard marking on the far side, working against O'Hagan. And O'Hagan is going to draw a foul. That'll go against Pinard, his third. A little out of control there by O'Hagan, but he'll draw the foul. 4:31 to go in the fourth quarter. Pass out to the top. The lob picked up by Sebi Law. Now into the corner, a three off the mark. Rebound tipped up, and it's pulled in by Jacob Parker. Up the floor, Roseburg comes. Back out. Matt Parker, a deep three. Goes! Second three of the night for Matt Parker. And just like that, back to a 9-point game, but open underneath, and an easy two for Bennett Davis. His first points of the night. 58-47, 11-point game. Jacob picks up his dribble, gets it to Matt, back out to Jacob. Parker to the corner for Martin. Tried to go with the give and go. I think he was feeding it to Pinard, who was there, but Jacob Parker was running to the same spot. Roseburg will get bailed out by a foul call. Ireland McFadden will check back in for Corvallis. And also Justin Misfelt. Sebi Law comes out of the game. And also out of the game will be Curtis Coleman. Inbound from Olsen, goes to Parker. Jacob drives baseline, gets trapped, bounces it in the corner. A three from Martin. It was a little bit flat, and it rims off hard. Up the floor, Corvallis trying to break away. They throw it a bit too far, and it'll go back to Roseburg. 3:42 to go. If Roseburg wants a shot, they're going to have to start getting some stops and getting some big buckets. Jacob Parker looks to the bench for the call. In the half court, working against Dazelle Bumpus. Gets it to Martin. Martin things clear up. He'll drive in, has it stripped out of his hands as he draws the foul. And now tied up at 16 fouls apiece, I do believe. It's going to be from the baseline, not a shooting foul. It is the 16th foul against Corvallis. Roseburg trying to plead their case that it's a shooting foul, but they're not going to get it. It is the third foul against Ireland McFadden. Inbound Olsen from the baseline. Looking in the middle, it's not there. Got to get it in. Ball tipped up. Fight for it. And touched by Corvallis, out of bounds. Ireland McFadden was trying to save it back in on the near sideline. So Roseburg will get another look at it, inbounding from their own bench. Inbound goes to Pinard, back out to Matthew Parker. To Olsen on the far side. He'll set the screen. Olsen dribbles around it, and he's harassed, and a foul will be called by against O'Hagan. His third, and it should be a 1-and-1. And it is the 7th foul against Corvallis, so it'll be Roseburg in the bonus from here on out. Daniil Olsen will head to the line. He is 1 of 2 from the stripe so far this evening. He'll hit the first. 3:17 to go here in the fourth quarter. Roseburg basketball tonight brought to you by Mahalo Heating and Cooling, your best choice for the finest indoor comfort control. Call them today at 672-6707. 1-2 from the stripe for Olsen, and the rebound tipped around, goes out of bounds. Everybody's pointing either direction, and the official will say it's a Corvallis basketball. Olsen comes out of the game as Carson Six will check back in, sophomore for sophomore. Starting lineup on the floor for Roseburg to finish out this one. 3:13 to go. And the pass up the floor, stolen away by Carson Six. He'll try to beat the press. Bounce to the far side. Jacob Parker into the corner. Martin, an open look at a three. He hits it. Third of the night for Zach Martin. He's got 15 in the ball game. And now the ball stolen away by Pinard in the backcourt. He'll pass it out. Matt Parker, he gets it across the floor to Jacob. Pass back out to Matt. A wing three from the left side. Too strong with the rebound down to Jacob. Almost lost it down towards midcourt. Roseburg will reset, and a foul now called against Ireland McFadden. Ready to come back in will be Ethan Hester, and Jasper Rinaldo will go back in as well. McFadden takes a seat. So does Bennett Davis. It's an 8-point game with 2:38 to play in this one, and heading to the line for a 1-and-1 will be Roseburg. Jacob Parker, first free throws of the night. Roseburg trying to make it an interesting finish here after falling behind by 14 early in this fourth quarter. Down by 8 right now, trying to close it, and the first one goes for Jacob Parker to make it a 7-point game. Tonight's contest brought to you by Fisher's Hearth and Home, serving Douglas County for over 30 years with the largest selection of wood, gas, pellet, and electric stoves and fireplaces in the area. Second free throw doesn't fall for Jacob. Rebound comes down to Corvallis. Azell Bumpus will walk it up the floor. 2.5 minutes to play in the contest. He goes to the left side. They look to lob it underneath to Rinaldo. The lob too strong. It goes off the back of the iron. Up the floor. Matt Thompson in the middle. A scoop shot will go. Matt Parker, I don't know why I keep calling him Matt Thompson. He puts it in, and it's a 5-point game, 58-53. On the near side, Ethan Hester. And a timeout called by Corvallis. Roseburg within 5 with 2:04 to play. We'll take a quick break. 30-second timeout. We'll be back with the continuation of the fourth quarter after this on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
We come back here with 2:04 to go in the fourth quarter. Roseburg trailing by 5 against Corvallis. Roseburg basketball brought to you tonight by Chuck's Foreman Family Auto Repair. Are you ready to go where life takes you? The scoreboard's reading of 58-53 in favor of Corvallis. They had Roseburg down for 42 points at the end of the third quarter. And 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12. I've got them down for 12 points in this quarter. Unless one of those threes was changed to a 2, I would have them at 54 points, which would make it a little bit closer, but we'll double check on that when we get a chance. Out of their timeout, Corvallis with it. Ball almost stolen away by Roseburg, but Corvallis keeps it. They'll reset as they look to wear some time off the clock. Pass to the near side on the wing. Hester looking underneath, but Ronaldo can't get his position against Martin. Hand it off. With it, Misfeld. Back out to the top. Cahill directing the offense. Pinard coming out to put on the pressure. He's got 3 fouls. Still has some room to work with. Down to 90 seconds to play in the ball game. Cahill with it. Almost double dribbled. Bumpus comes to get it on the near side, marked by Carson 6. Almost traveled there as well. Bumpus will bring it back out. Goes around a screen. Crossover in the lane. Lost it, but they'll call a foul. And into the bonus now for Corvallis as well.
Roseburg foul on number 3.
Foul goes against Jacob Parker, his second. First free throw for Bumpus. Looks long, and it is. His first free throws of the night. Roseburg basketball tonight brought to you by Aviva Health and by Flyaway Travel. Contact their travel experts for your travel plans. Give them a call at 672-5701. Second free throw here for Bumpus. His team leading by 5. Second free throw, no basket. Lane violation on Corvallis. 1:15 to go. It's a 5-point game. Roseburg trying to cut it down to a 1-possession ball game. Jacob Parker with it out at the top. Crossover goes back to his right. Martin ends up on the ground after a screen attempt. Out to the top. Danil Olsen a look at a 3. It's just off, but the rebound comes down to Jacob Parker. He'll pass it out. Olsen into the corner. Matt Parker a 3. Long. Rebound on the weak side by Pinard. He lost it, but it goes to Matt Parker again. Parker into the corner, out to the top. Olsen with it. And a timeout by Roseburg. Roseburg a couple of decent looks at a 3. Can't hit, but down to 46.5 seconds to go. And we will keep it right here in the fourth quarter. 58-53 the score on the scoreboard. Tonight's contest brought to you by Umpqua Dairy, your local dairy since 1939. And by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages of Roseburg. Grab a refreshing, delicious Pepsi today. Well, I don't know if it'll end up making a difference. One more point, but unless they change to 3 to a 2, I do have Roseburg at 54 points right now. And I know that's what Josh, who's working the video screen, he's got written down as well. So we'll try to double check on that in the post-game show, see if we can figure anything out on that, if there's any sort of truth to it. Could come into play if this game, if Roseburg makes a bucket here. Trailing by 5 at the moment with 46.5 seconds to go, 46.5 seconds to go. Did I say 46.5 the first time? I might have. It didn't sound right coming in out of my mouth and into my earphones. Either way, it is a tight ball game. Under 60 to play. Roseburg out of the timeout with the basketball. They missed a couple of open looks at 3s on their last attempts. They'll try to get it here. They'll break the stack. Corvallis, not a tough defense on the inbound. Out at the top, though, they'll apply the pressure. Jacob Parker dribbles to the right side to Matt. His pass tipped. And they're going to call it to Corvallis. And they're going to talk about it now. That ball was tipped by Corvallis, and they turn the call around. So Roseburg will get another look at it here with 37.5 seconds to play. They'll stack it up. Inbound again goes to Jacob Parker. 35 to play. Parker marked closely by Cahill. Around the edge, out to the top. Zach Martin, a catch and shoot three, no good. Got his own rebound, but dribbles it off his own foot. He thought about the rebound and attack, but just a little too quick. Jasper Reynaldo will check out of the game. Sebi Law will come back in. It's a 5-point game according to the scoreboard. Could be 4 if the scoreboard's off. And Roseburg will foul on the inbound pass. It'll be Danil Olsen.
Roseburg foul on number 0. Number 20, Danil Olsen.
And so Danil Olsen picks up his second. Jasper Reynaldo will come back in. So they add the rebounder. Out of the game will be Justin Misfelt. First free throw here for Ethan Hester. No good. Rebound came down to Matt Parker. Pushing it up the floor. Tim Jacob on the far side. Back out to Matt. He wanted to go with the three. Lost a handle on it. 13 seconds to go. Driving in from the free throw line. Martin off the shot. Rebound came down to Corvallis in the backcourt. Olsen having to apply the pressure and foul again. Roseburg has had their chances to get back into this one, but the shots just will not drop. And there's 5.5 seconds to play, and it looks like Corvallis in their season opener might just have a chance to head home with a victory here tonight. But kudos to Roseburg. They were down by 14 to start this fourth quarter, and they've got it down to a narrow 2-possession game. First free throw for Calvin Cahill goes through. He'll have 2 here. He's 3 for 3 from the line. Only one man in the lane, that's Sebi Law, to try and at least make it a little bit more difficult for Roseburg to rebound. If the shot was missed, it was not. 60-53 on the scoreboard. Handed off, Zach Martin going to try a three before the buzzer, and his shot will not go. And that will wrap it up there, 60-53 on the scoreboard. We'll double check and make sure they don't add a point up there, but it will not matter. Roseburg falls to Corvallis. Their final score, Corvallis 60 and Roseburg 53. We'll be back after this 2-minute break with your post-game show and recap this one for you. Don't go anywhere, folks. Roseburg, an exciting one here tonight, falling just short against the visiting Corvallis Spartans. I'm Joey Kieran. The post-game show coming up when we return on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Hi, my name is Mark Martin. Thanks for watching Roseburg Football on 541radio.com.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
Welcome, everybody, to our post-game show. The Roseburg Indians tonight falling against the visiting Corvallis Spartans. We'll double check on our final score. We've got some discrepancies here. 60-53 was on the scoreboard. I've got 54 points in my scorebook. That's what Josh had as well on the scoreboard online. We'll double check with the official score. But tonight, Roseburg makes a great effort of it, but can't quite finish off the victory here. Come from behind win here tonight. They never led in this matchup, but they were down by 14 to start the fourth quarter, go on a run, and get back to within a couple possessions to finish out this game. Had their opportunities at the very end of the ball game, but could not finish it off with a bucket. Had a number of looks at threes there in the final couple of possessions, and just could not get the shot they needed to fall in. Roseburg falling tonight. They'll go to 1-4 on the year, fourth straight loss, and 1-0 on the season for the Corvallis Spartans. It was a 6-point game at halftime. Roseburg falling back behind by 12 after trailing by 12 in the first quarter. They got it back within 6 at halftime. We're down by 12 in the third at the end of the third quarter. Fell behind by 14 to start the fourth quarter, but fight all the way back to lose by 6 or 7, and we'll try to double confirm on that in a moment. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and break away. Another 2-minute break. We'll come back, take a look at some of your individual statistics from tonight's game as we get you your Lamert Orthodontics stat update. Back with more of the postgame show after this on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
Back here, wrapping up tonight's contest, we have confirmed what we were trying to figure out, and it was right on the scoreboard. We had a 3 that was in the corner. We couldn't quite see the feet. It was a corner 3 by Zach Martin in the contest, and it ended up, his foot was on the line, so it was a long 2 for Zach Martin, so that's why we had the discrepancy of the 1 point. That's why we check on these things. So your final score was, in fact, Corvallis 60. Roseburg 53. Indians got it down to a 5-point game there in the closing minutes, but just couldn't finish it off. Missing 3s that would have made it a 1-point game, missing a 2 that would have made it a 1-point game. Some decent looks at 3s. They weren't all just heaves to try and get something to go. They had some good looks, just couldn't quite get what they needed to fall here tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at our individual stats tonight, brought to you by Lamert Orthodontics. Embrace life. Call their Roseburg office at 673-0924. First for the visiting team, the Corvallis Spartans leading the way. A pair of players with 14 points. Jasper Reynalda finishing with 14 tonight. He ends up going 6 of 8 from the floor and 2 of 3 from the line. Curtis Coleman ends up hitting 4 3-pointers in this ball game, finishing with 14, tied for the team high. Also tied for the game high for Corvallis. Behind him in double figures, 11 points for Zell Bumpus. And then behind him, a lot of people getting into the scorebook here. 2 points for Ethan Hester, 3 for Justin Midfeld, 7 for Calvin Cahill, 2 for Ireland McFadden. Let's see here, 2 for Bennett Davis, 3 for Spencer Vingellen, and 2 for Darren O'Hagan. On the other side for the Roseburg Indians, 3 players in double figures. Zach Martin tied for the game high with 14 points. Matt Parker had 10. Danil Olson, 11. 6 points for Carson, 6. Jacob Parker finishes with 7. And Atreyu Pinard getting 5 tonight for the Roseburg Indians. That's your Lamert Orthodontics stat update. Roseburg falling 60-53 here tonight against Corvallis. They'll try to break that losing streak as they take on Willamette coming up next week. We'll talk more about the upcoming games for the Roseburg Indians and put a wrap on tonight's contest here from Roseburg High School. Indians fall to Corvallis. We'll come back to wrap it up when we return on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
I am a nurse.
A firefighter.
A college student.
A mother.
And I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready.
For every storm.
And disaster that threatens my community.
I will always be there to protect my neighbors.
My family.
And my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Back here to wrap things up here on a Friday night at Stuart W. Robertson Memorial Gymnasium. Want to thank a couple of final sponsors, Terra Firma Foundations and Kegel Communications. Also wrap things up, coming up for the Roseburg Indians. They'll be hosting the Willamette Wolverines for one of 2 meetings in a row for the Roseburg Indians against the Wolverines. They'll be playing a non-leaguer here at home, and then they will turn around and head up to Eugene to face the Wolverines in the Emerald Shootout at Sheldon High School coming up the 19th. So they face them on the 17th next Tuesday, then they turn around and face them 2 days later on a Thursday to begin that tournament up in Eugene next week. We will not be there to cover that tournament. We can't be there for the whole time, so decided not to go for the boys tournament, but we will be picking up a girls basketball game next Friday night. We'll be here at home to do the Roseburg girls basketball game next Friday because we can't go to Eugene to cover the boys. We had the free night, though, so we thought, why not? Let's go ahead and do a girls game. So we'll be here doing Roseburg girls a week from tonight. We will have that Willamette boys basketball game, the game against Willamette boys basketball game on the radio for you and on the video player coming up next Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. You can always find the broadcast schedule posted on the Score homepage at 541radio.com. Go to On Air and listen and go to the live sports schedule. You can find it there. Taking a look, one last look at some of the scores from around the rest of the region here tonight. Josh Nelson's been keeping an eye on things. Josh, you want to recap everybody on some of the scores we've been collecting here this evening?
Absolutely. All right, in Southwest Conference play in boys basketball. So Roseburg obviously fell to Corvallis today, 60-53, but South Bedford ends up beating Beaverton 73-66. Roseburg JV also fell to Corvallis today by 1 point. That score was 60-59. Newport boys basketball at Sutherland. Sutherland ends up falling to Newport 60-50. And then Mapleton ends up beating Douglas in the Cow Creek Classic 50-20. Pleasant Hill ends up beating Umpqua Valley Christian 61-40. And then Douglas ends up beating Canyonville Academy again in boys basketball at the Douglas Booster Tournament 69-34. In girls basketball, Douglas, Nevada ends up beating Grants Pass 56-31. In the Cow Creek Classic, Douglas JV ends up beating Mapleton 35-23. And then in the Douglas Booster Tournament, Pleasant Hill ends up beating Douglas 50-42. In the North Douglas Winter Invitational, North Douglas ends up beating Lowell 38-21. And then in the Cougar Classic, Damascus Christian ends up beating Days Creek 51-35. Also going on over this weekend is the Reno Tournament of Champions Wrestling Tournament. Roseburg sent 13 wrestlers down, and it looks like there are currently 7 wrestlers still wrestling. 4 are in the quarterfinals, 3 are in the consolation bracket, and Roseburg is currently ranked in 7th place out of about 111 teams.
All right, thanks for the update there, Josh, as we start wrapping things up here from Roseburg High School. Again, we'll be back on the air coming up next Tuesday to bring you some more Roseburg boys basketball. As we wrap things up here, I want to say thanks to head coach Ross Duerfelt, the Corvallis Spartans, for making the trip down here for today's basketball contest. As always, want to say thanks to athletic director Russ Bolin, head coach Jordan Humphreys, the entire Roseburg boys basketball program for allowing us to bring you another season of Roseburg basketball here on The Score. Want to say thanks to Brenton Cranford back in the studio for the radio production here tonight. Thanks to Josh Nelson for help with the video production on site here this evening. Thanks to Angela Kieran for running the camera for us here tonight. And thanks to Heather Nelson for coming and supporting us here this evening as well. And as always, folks, we'd like to say thanks to you, the fans, for tuning in for tonight's broadcast, because, of course, without you, I'm just a guy sitting here talking to myself. I'm Joey Kieran. We will catch up with you guys on Tuesday night next week when the Roseburg Indians host the Willamette Wolverines. The game's scheduled to start at 6:45. That means pregame coverage getting underway at 6:30, and you can catch the action streaming online at 541radio.com or right here on Douglas County's home for sports, The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. Copy that. Thank you, Brent.